So, welcome to this interview, Pedro. What don't you say a bit, some things about yourself, who you are, get to know each other, a little bit about your Isaac journey.
Okay, cool. First of all, thank you so much for JFB for inviting me, and yeah, I thank you as well for Dimitra to setting our schedule. And yeah, hello everyone. My name is Pedro Gonzalez Escleo Caroco, but you can simply call me Pedro. I'm come from Indonesia and originally from Indonesia. Talking about Isaac experience, basically I've been involved quite long in Isaac, I would say, and couple of my highlight in my experiences is basically I've been involved in MC Isaac Indonesia 22, 23, and then I also been involved in uh, RST Regional Sporting Team for Asia Pacific 2020 semester 1, 2022, sorry. And then my would be my last role in ISEC. It's basically being as an entity finance board for ISEC in Indonesia. And yeah, I think that's coming side from my side. Yeah, thank you.
Nice. I didn't know you were in MC before. I was in MC last term. What role did you have in MC?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So basically my role it's full of operation. I've been in EWA as a MC and then as a OGV LCVP and also taking a role as a NST for operation and then also RST for operation, particularly in entity finance board. It's quite new for me, so that's why it's also challenged me about okay how they actually back and work more specific as an independent body in Indonesia, ISEC Indonesia.
Nice. So, in your role in finance, I bet it's not it's not very easy at first, but
Indeed.
how to decide to become a chair, to get into EFB and to involve yourself in finance?
Okay, so talking about that, basically, this is actually coming from my conversation when I was in MC, talking about the urgency of another independent body. Beside we have also ECB, as we might already know. Talking about entity finance board in Indonesia, it's very relevant back then up until now because in ISEC Indonesia we have in total 26, 27 LCs. So when it comes to the managing the finance in national level, it quite complex, and also I would say it's a big things. So in order to make it more like smooth and then well organized and then well implemented in terms of let's say strategy for MC or direction from GFB for instance, I think or we think as a MC back then, okay, we need this kind of independent body that the aim is basically to more manage in terms of the educational, for instance, for now, and then for the implementation of regulation that we have, like the finance manual that we have, governance manual. So basically, that's the thing that we aim when it comes to this independent body. And then yeah, turns out we already make we made it in early 2024, and now it's the first one semester and next one it's one term period of entity finance board ISEC Indonesia.
Nice. You went through the whole story of history of Indonesia and how EFB got like you implemented guys EFB there. So how did you decide to become a chair in EFB?
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, back to the story that as a conversation goes on back then, I and my MC Finance talking, making a joke that okay, after this, we will create entity finance board, and the MCVP Finance would become chair, and then I will go as a data management back then. And yeah, that's also triggering me when it comes to okay, the entity finance board would open in Indonesia, and back then I applying for data management as I mentioned, but unfortunately my teammate, he cannot make it, and yeah, I just go by myself to applying as a data, and then right after, in the middle of 2024, the chair application is open, and yeah, I mean, because my background it's quite challenging for jumping into the finance world. So I challenge myself, and it's also part of the pivoting my background, because my background is it's linear. My background is economic, and then I think this is the time for me to continue the things that related, and also uh, searching more knowledge in terms of finance world. I think that's triggered me the most, and also yeah, because I uh very, how to say, like post ISEC syndrome, something like that. So I want to more involved in ISEC, and yeah, I think I still have like one last chance, so I maximize that. I think that's
Nice. I'm happy for you, happy that you stepped up and to become EFB chair. I get really like excited with stepping up and like advancing in roles. It's things that like kept me in ISEC and will always keep me, or at least it will keep my heart, not me physically. I will be yes. So you mentioned that you were management um, team member, manager. You applied for data management and then you became EFB. So what is your structure in EFB in Indonesia?
okay. Yeah. Back then in the beginning of 2024, first term of EFB Indonesia, we just have like small team. We have one management, data manager we call, and then we also have like accounting, uh, include three, and also we have communication team, or communication and management team. It's two. But after my term, I decided to change a bit in terms of the structure. For now, my structure is we still have one data, but we changed the name, become data analyst, and then we also have like R&D, research and development. Basically, this kind of role, it's more focusing into research related, either it comes from the internal EFB, internal development of EFB, or more specific in terms of the documentation. Like for instance, currently ISEC in Indonesia creating IFPM, but we try to make it local. So my research and development manager collaborating with the NST from MC to doing research, talking with the LCVP, LCP, rereading the things that we already have, like finance manual, governance manual, to create that. That's the main focus of R&D. And then the next one, we have financial control. Before that, the name is accounting, but we changed it to financial control to make more specific, that cover about everything that become routine of the LCs, such every month they should submit their report of finance statement, and also maybe they also should fulfill the kind of tools that we have. We have like CGAT, cash growth analysis tool, analytical tools. They also should update, and the team of financial control team will checking and give the feedback, or something that need to be mentioned as a financial control to LCs. And then the last one, we have audit. So a little bit background story. The audit team is basically already established before we exist as a EFB. It's basically an independent body that do internal audit for a whole LCs in the period of 6 months. It's pretty similar like the audit that ASEC International have, but we make it in the local level, and we merge as big as EFB established, become one functional. And the main focus, the audit team, it's basically more focused in the periodic of audit only, and not would be much more have like touch point or specific interaction with the other functional, because yeah, we're trying to make it independent and how to call it untouchable for the relevancy of the audit process. And for the chair, I think my main responsibility is basically just supervising the things that we have as a strategy, and then doing or represent the EFB as an independent body in national plenary, and then also involved in some of synergy that need to be discussed with the chair, or need to be discussed with the between chair and also MC Finance. And also the last one, it's very important, is the pipeline management. I mean, when it comes to the continuous member, it should be also put in mind, because that would be hard if we just have like 1 or 2 term and people don't want to continue it. So yeah, that's also become my focus as well as a chair. I think that's all.
Nice. The auditing part really got me. It's the same like in Greece, in my entity. I was, for reference, I was MCP FNL 23-24, previous MC. Open DFB, we had auditors as an independent body, and now auditors are in EFB, and I'm one of them. So I'm also in EFB now. So yes, pretty similar. It's pretty similar to my entity too. So you told us our structure. So what's your vision as a team? How do you work as EFB? What are your goals?
Cool. Okay, so when it comes to like vision goal, basically I make it into one strong sentence, or we call it tagline. So basically my tagline for my term, it's wait a second, it's resolve, not reasons. That's my tagline. So basically what that it means, it's basically when it comes to the strategy or things that we deliver as a assistance for LC, or as a part of synergy to other department or to other body, we aim to like make it done as what we should make. And then another one, it's basically my goal also to have like system that we build from scratch for our LC. One of the things that we cover for this semester, it's basically the data management itself, since we already have like Google tools that store the data of LC's performance monthly. We want to make it more advanced, because yeah, that's one of the function of this independent body. So we created some kind of dashboard to visual the tools, and then yeah, that's the focus, one of the focus for my term. And then the second one, it's basically back end, I would mention it's a culture of taking the charge of the continuity of the organization. I mean, it's good if we have like have a good thought in else, for have a good synergy with MC, but we did have like the pipeline or the success. So that's also my focus, and my to have one round only for the chair and also another role right after that. And then I think that just that because I also understand when it comes to the organization development, we need to prioritize the things that we should do in order to fulfill the expectation of the entity, the network, as well as continuity of the organization internally itself. I think that's the vision as well as goal.
Nice. So, what do you believe are the main benefits that it gives to your entity, EFB gives to your entity? How has finance been your entity before EFB? How is it now? How do you see it going?
Okay, cool. So talking about that, I would say would include in data management itself because before that we just store all of the data in random place. I mean, not necessarily random, but for now we much more structuralized in terms of the data every month. That's the I think things for existence of EFB. Second one will be the educational and also engage part because when it comes to the educational, I believe educational it should be delivered no matter in what level of audience itself. I mean, if you as a manager you can go, if you as a LCP, if you can go, you also can go, or even you as a member. So that's the second one, and then the last one, I would say it much more synergized part with the MC Finance because before EFB in Indonesia, the MC Finance quite limited because MC Finance work with the MC internally and also should responsible as well in the LC or network or commission. But for now, since we also cover that area, so in terms of the strategy MC, we could supporting much more. I think that's things that we can do for the entity.
Nice. So last but not least, what would you say to entities that are thinking to implement EFB as a last part of our interview?
Okay. Talking about that, I think it should coming from the the idea of the benefit of EFB itself. I mean, when it comes to let's say engagement or something like strategy, somehow the MC finance could do that. But when it comes to the repetitive job or routine things, it should be done by the team that already know the area or the team that are already understand that. And I think the EFB it's here for that. And then the second one, it's much more about the strategical things because the MC Finance, it's also work as a MC in internal team. They also have fulfilled their strategy to the LC as a MC, MCVP. And the existence of EFB, it's much more helps in terms of the execution because in Indonesia, it's already implemented. I mean, the MC could have like productive synergy with us, and we talking a lot about the tools that we create, the strategy that should we make for the LC. I think that's two basic things that EFB could definitely help for the entity that need. Yeah.
Nice. I totally agree with you what you said, especially the last 2 points in the last questions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving your time to speak about EFB and tell us your experience. This was the interview with Pedro, EFB Finance, EFB Chair of Indonesia, 24-25. Thank you all for coming.